Hey everyone, it's Justine, and today I'm working with the Catherine Pooler new release that releases today. I'm going to be working with some of the new colors. Here they are: Shea, Rose Petals, Polished, Sugared Lavender. We also have Seafoam, and then Skylight's coming out, and Spruce, and then lastly Stone Blue. I'm really excited that these are complementing the spa colors, which are a little bit more subtle colors than the party collection. So I'm going to be grabbing my inks here. I'm using some Stone Blue, some Skylight, and some Seafoam here in order to create a little background onto some acetate. I'm going to be spritzing this down with some water, and then I'm going to be running my cardstock, some watercolor cardstock, through it. So I'm using Canson watercolor paper, and I'm going to go ahead and dip the watercolor here that I created down onto the image to create this really interesting mixed media look. I'm also going to do it using some of the pink colors here, so I'm just going to clean off the acetate so I'm ready to go again. I'm going to use some Sugared Lavender, some Rose Petals, and Polished on this one. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I also wanted to mention that I have 2 other videos coming out this week featuring the collection, and you'll be really excited to check those out because there's some really stunning creations there. So I'm just going through and adding a couple of the splotches here, and you can also go back in with some color if you feel like one color maybe got overpowered by the other, or you want to spread things around a little bit. I personally prefer to let these air dry, and I set them off to the side. Unfortunately, that blue one there I accidentally screwed up in the end, but I thought I'd show you the background anyway. So for this time here, I'm actually grabbing my watercolor paper and I spritzed it beforehand with water. Then I applied the inks and added it directly to my watercolor, and you can see that they actually get a lot more saturated when the water's on the paper versus adding it to the acetate. So you can dry each layer, and then you could add layer upon layer on top as much as you'd like. So you can create these really fun watercolor backgrounds. So I'm going ahead and going again with some of the other colors here because I thought another layer would look really neat, and so I was able to add a little bit more purple on there, and I really liked the dots that had come up, so I left them actually. I dried it a little bit, and then I scooped it up with a little bit of my paper towel here, and then I went ahead and let the rest dry naturally. So now that they are all dried naturally, I'm going to go ahead and do some stamping. So I'm going to be adding the feather. This is from the Zen Feather Stamp Set, and this is one of the new ones that has come out. And I'm just going to stamp this using a waterproof ink here. So I'm going to just add the feather 3 times to my card base, and then I'm going to stamp my sentiment and just mount it on top of the card base. So it should be ready to go. I really love this sentiment here that I got with the new release. It says, "Spread your wings and fly." So once I finished that card front, I just set that off to the side and got to work on the next one. So this is the one where I did the whole background, but I did cut it down a little bit using the postage stamp dies. So just a stitched rectangle die that I got in my last stamp of approval kit. So I'm just going to add a Zen feather that I die cut onto the front of the card, and then add a sentiment as well onto it. So just some very simple cards. These can be created in just a couple of minutes. I toyed around with the idea of adding some other stamps from the set here and creating a collage, but I just didn't think it looked all that great. So I went ahead and just simply added the sentiment there to the corner. And I needed to find a sentiment that fit into the corner, of course, because I had already glued down the feather. So once again, I just stamped that and in some black ink. You can never have too much is what it says, and then that was all finished. So I'm just going to mount these onto some card bases, and that will be the end of my card making tutorial today. Don't forget that I'll have 2 other videos coming out, and as well as there's a blog hop, so you can have a chance to win some fun prizes, and you can check that out. I'll have the video description below, and there's lots of inspiration for this hop as well. Don't forget as well that yesterday was the Save the YouTuber event, so you can go ahead and check out that video playlist for a chance to win some inks also. Thanks so much for watching my video, everyone, and I hope you have a wonderful week.